Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the European national team's highlight selection contract pack thingy. So we're getting a bunch of selection contracts to sign some of these players. I'm reliably informed we're going to get 5 in total. I think we're only able to get 3 so far, but there'll be more objectives I imagine coming soon. But we're getting a bunch of players in this pack, and we have 15 to choose from, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to take a look at each of these players. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if you want to hear about a particular player out of all these players, click on the description, there'll be a link to take you straight to them. And I'm going to start with the goalie, and we'll work our way up the pitch. So that is Oliver Baumann. Baumann plays for Hoffenheim, so right off the bat, we're not getting a live update for this guy. Obviously, if he plays for Germany and he puts in a good performance, then he might get some form from an international week, but for the most part, you won't be getting any live update, no A or B form, unless, of course, he joins a team that does get live update. Although on the plus side, he does have unwavering form, so you could consider him usable. He's got a face scan, pretty average height for a goalie, and he has low punt, penalty save, vacancy, so he's got a few skills. Let's have a look at how good he is though on eFootball Hub. So, Oliver Baumann, how good are you? Let's max you out. He's alright. So we've had one previous version of this guy in some kind of legend box, one of the ones with the kind of dark green football for a background. It was slightly better than this one, to be honest. Not a massive difference, but it was better. He's not a massive boost from his GP card. They put a couple of points on his goalie attributes, but they do always kind of, what they've always done over the course of time is with these highlight cards, the kind of featured cards, whatever you want to call them, they do a kind of a fairly uniform boost across all the attributes. They'll put them all up by a similar amount, and then there'll be one attribute they pick out and they boost that by more. Some of the recent highlight cards, especially in packs and the kind of partner club packs and stuff like that, they've been messing around a bit more. They've been putting the pace up quite a lot, or maybe certain other attributes quite a lot more than the rest of the stats. They've been doing some more interesting boosts, but with this pack, it looks like they're back to what they've done more often over the course of time, which is, like I say, just doing a kind of a pretty uniform boost and just picking one attribute out to boost by more than the rest. So not as exciting a boost on these cards, and a particularly unexciting one on this guy because they've just put a couple of points on each of his goalie attributes. And the one attribute that boosted the most is lofted pass, so that does help for sure when you're playing long passes downfield with your goalie. But I think most people would have preferred if they picked out one of his goalie attributes to get the boost. But it's lofted pass. They put about 5 points on it. So his lofted pass is better than normal, but yeah, the goalie attributes are just slightly better than his GP card, really. And he is decent. You know, you got the awareness at 90, which is good. Reflex is almost 90. The other attributes, though, catching is not great. Parring's okay. Reach on a 6'1" goalkeeper, almost 6'2". That's probably slightly lower than most people would want. And we do have fantastic jumping there, and we know from Player of the Week that doesn't matter. So we'll just take those points back, and that allows us to increase one of these by 1. And I think reflex is the obvious one. 1 point left. I'll stick that on passing. Yeah, he's all right. I think it's just a classic case of a card that, if you're new to the game, could be handy. If you really need a goalkeeper option, if you've not picked up any good goalie options yet, or if you've only got 1 or 2, and you know, some weeks you don't have anyone on A or B form, this guy does have unwavering form. He can certainly do a job for you. But I think for people who've been playing the game a while, if you've got a lot of options in goal, especially legend goalkeepers, I don't know if this guy's ever going to get in your squad. So, you know, if you're a Hoffenheim fan, or if you're like a Germany squad in the national team challenge, or in divisions, obviously, he could be a valuable option for you, especially if you're new to the game as well. If you need a goalie option, but there's nothing special about him really. He's just a kind of pretty average goalkeeper, so he's not a bad one, but not a particularly exciting one either. And next up, also from the Bundesliga, we have Waldemar Anton. We have a build-up centre-back with a face scan. He plays for Dortmund. Again, on the basis of him playing for Dortmund, you won't be getting any live update unless it's in an international week, and he plays well for Germany. Is that likely to happen? I don't know. But again, like with Baumann, the goalie, we've got unwavering form, so that is a plus. But that lack of live update might be concerning for you. Skill-wise, we've got a few man marking, interception, aerial, acrobatic, captaincy. So we've got some of the most important ones for a centre-back, but there's some missing here. Blocker, I think, is very important. I think if you gave him blocker, you've got all the ones you really need, but there's a bunch more you could give him on top of that. You give him fighting spirit, starting tackle, you give him heading. Although his heading's at 80 at level 1, so heading not too important. But yeah, I'd start with blocker if you're going to get this guy. If you're going to use him regularly and you want to put skills on him, blocker's the first one for me, and then there's a few others you could do with on top of that. But let's look how good he is on eFootball Hub. So where is he? There he is. So maxed out, all trained up. How good is he? He's all right. He's decent. So this is the first time I've had any version of Anton. And yeah, he's a solid centre-back. Engagement would be nice if we can nudge up to the 90 mark, but over 90 on the other 3. So defensively, he's pretty strong on the whole. Pace, speed's okay, acceleration a bit dodgy, so he's not the quickest. He could be slower though, I guess. Jumping's okay. What is he, 6'2"? He's almost 6'3". We got aerial superiority, jumping like 274. So his vertical reach is okay. Would like that to be better. But the thing is, where can he spare the points from? I wouldn't want to take any away from dexterity. There's 2 points there, but he's not got great acceleration or balance. Speed, again, he's not got a great deal of speed, so I wouldn't want to take anything from there. And all you've got is the air and defending. You're already down below 90 on engagement. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd do anything with the point allocation, to be honest. So yeah, the jumping's not brilliant, but like I say, vertical reach is okay at 274. Would like it to be higher, but I don't think we can really realistically get it any higher. To be honest, I'm just seeing one thing. That balance is 69. You could nudge one off lower body into dexterity. That'd be nice. Get the stat balance up to 70. And actually, that jumping at 86, one increase will get that to increase by 2, because we're at that threshold. You see, if he's going back to unboosted, you get it to 85, starts going up by 3. So if you increase that jumping by 1, it'll go up by 2. Could you afford another one off lower body? I'm not sure that's going to be the most popular thing to do, but if you did that and you use goalkeeper 1, get a couple of centimetres on his jumping height, you could do that. It's not a massive difference, but I'm going to do that for now. You see, the pace is near enough the same as what it was. I would personally do that, but like I say, it doesn't make a massive difference. But down the left there, not too bad on the ball, at least with the ball control for a centre-back. The passing is decent for a centre-back. The heading, as I mentioned, it was at 80 level, and we got 91 heading, so the lack of heading skill won't be too big of a miss. Physical contact is good. There's quite a lot to be said for this guy, to be honest. He's a pretty strong centre-back. It's just he's a bit lacking in acceleration. That's going to hamper him in terms of his pace. I would like the engagement to hit 90. That's not the end of the world, though. So, yeah, he's pretty solid on the whole. He does need 1 or 2 skills. Like I said, we've not had any other versions of him in the game. So if you compare him to his GP card, his base card, whatever you want to call it, again, we've not had the most exciting boost. So it's a pretty uniform +3 on most of his attributes. But the one attribute that boosts him more than anything else is ball control. So that is nice. It does help, of course, with the centre-back. But again, is that one of the attributes that you would have wanted boosted on the centre-back? No. Would have been nice if it was defensive engagement. It would have been a really nice centre-back then. But yeah, ball control's had the biggest boost, just a few points in all the rest of his attributes. And yeah, it's a solid centre-back. Again, you know, when you're going to use him, because you're not going to be able to use him in a league challenge. If you rock a Germany squad, for sure, he could be a very useful option for that. Or if you support Dortmund, of course, he could be one that you'd really like to pick up. But lack of live update, lack of league challenges you can use him in, I think those are things that hold this guy back. And also, he does need 1 or 2 skills. He only needs 1 or 2. I think if you just gave him blocker alone, I think that would be enough. You'd have the essentials for a centre-back, but he certainly could do with 1 or 2 beyond that. Fighting spirit, 1 or 2 passing skills, maybe sliding tackle, if you ever do sliding tackles. So, yeah, there are 1 or 2 downsides to this guy, but he is pretty solid. And just before we move on, could you position train him for another position? He's got DMF and right back. I don't think you can, but we'll just check what the auto allocation says. Can you make him a right back? No. Lack of pace for me kills him. Sure, he's got qualities elsewhere. If you're really desperate to make this guy a very defensive right back, maybes, but speed at 80 is iffy. Acceleration 67, no thank you. DMF, let's just have a quick look at that. Can you make him a DMF? I doubt it. Not really. I mean, again, if you're really desperate, you want someone to just sit in front of your defence and just block everything. Maybe defensively fantastic for a DMF. I mean, he could nick some points in there actually. But can you make him better elsewhere? No, this is a waste of time, isn't it? A bit rare on the ball. Yeah, I don't know. Again, same as right back. If you're really, really desperate, you could make him a DMF or a right back. But yeah, this guy's essentially just a centre back, isn't he? He's a pretty solid one. So a couple of downsides. You know, in terms of the attributes, 1 or 2 you'd like to be a bit higher. The acceleration is the one for me that's a bit of a concern. No live update, needs 1 or 2 skills. But apart from all of that, there are plenty of strengths here. There's quite a bit to be said for this guy. So he's not an amazing centre-back, but certainly is a solid one. And again, if you're quite new to the game, you need centre-back options, he could definitely be a very good acquisition for you. So not a brilliant centre-back, but certainly a very solid one. And next we have another centre-back. We have Upamecano. We have had a few versions of this guy at this point. So, of course, he's got his phrase scan. He's a destroyer these days. Used to be a build-up. I don't remember exactly when they changed him from build-up to destroyer. I guess it might have been around the big update about 6 months ago, something like that. Inconsistent form, that's not great. But he does get live update, of course. He's a Bayern. Great session skills for centre-back. So, weighted and load off the pass. Nice bonuses on the centre-back. Then you've got heading, you've got aerial. And then man marking, search and blocker, slide and tackle, acrobatic, fighting spirit. A pretty complete set of skills for a centre back, which is great. But how good is this version of Upamecano? Let's have a look on eFootball Hub. So He is already boosted them up in the background there, so he's pretty good as you'd expect. It's a pretty solid version of Upamecano, to be honest. So we've had a lot of versions of him, as I mentioned. We've had some Player of the Week ones. There was one Destroyer Player of the Week, a couple of Build-Up Player of the Week cards. They're all pretty similar overall to this one, but the stats are shuffled around as you expect with Player of the Week centre-backs and all Player of the Week cards. They've shuffled the stats around, so the balance of his attributes is different on those Player of the Week cards, but the overall ability is similar. We had loads of trainable versions, Destroyer and Build-Up. Quite a mixed bag, to be honest, but there are a lot of them around about this level. So, like I say, this is pretty much roughly par for the course for an Upamecano card. It's pretty solid. It's actually a bit better than the one that was in the France pack, the one with the Griezmann Legend card. I had that one. This one looks slightly better. And likewise, there was a free one quite a while ago, a Bayern card, with a similar background to this, but it's kind of dark red because it was a Bayern-themed card. That's some kind of Bayern campaign. That one, along with the France pack version, had less acceleration and balance than this one. That's pretty much it. So just for those two attributes, this one's a little bit better than those two versions. It's very similar to the freebie that we got as part of the Tsubasa campaign. This one's a tiny bit better on the ball, but the Tsubasa one had a bit more heading and defensive awareness. So yeah, it's a solid version of Upamecano, but you may well have a better one. Certainly with the Player of the Week ones, it might depend on which attributes you feel are more important. But if you don't have a good Upamecano card, this is a good centre-back card. One downside is that you always have that imbalance with the defensive attributes. He's absolutely incredible with his engagement, his tackling, and his aggression, but his awareness is like, 13 lower than the rest of his defensive attributes. It's really annoying when you get that imbalance. So yeah, that's he's not a great downside because his awareness still isn't too bad. Certainly the other defensive attributes are brilliant, but it would be nice if they were a bit more even, a bit more balanced. Got good speed. Acceleration isn't so great, but it has been worse on some versions of him. It's got great jumping and physical contact. That's fantastic. Stamina's okay. Balance is decent for a centre-back. He's not too bad on the ball for a centre-back. Pretty average, to be honest. He does have those two passing skills, weighted and low lofted. So, yeah, it's a solid version of Upamecano. There have been versions recently. As I mentioned, the Tsubasa one had a bit more awareness than this one. Would you shuffle the points around? I'm not sure. The defending's up to 13. That last increase in defending, you've gone into the 4 points per increase, so you can't really get that awareness any higher. I tell you what, you could actually nick some from aerial there. He's got so much on his aerial. You could do that and just nudge his awareness up by 2, in fact, because he set that threshold there. So that next increase goes up by 2 to 88. You could do that if you think you could afford to lose the aerial points. It's up to you, really. Got 4 points left. We can nudge his acceleration to 70. That's nice. 2 left. Stick him on passing. To be honest, I personally would do that. I think awareness is a very important defensive attribute. I think it is probably worth it. The physical strength is very important, but we can afford to lose a few off there. And likewise, the jumping. Vertical reach is what? 274, so that's solid. It's not amazing, but it's solid. Yeah, I would probably do that. It's not a massive difference, like I say, but it's nice to nudge the attributes up a little bit, get the awareness up slightly. But yeah, comparing to his GP card though, just to touch on the way they boost them again, I've mentioned with the first two cards that the boost they've done on these cards is not particularly exciting. Most attributes are up by 2 on Upamecano. There's a few up by 3, but the one attribute that boosted the most is, of course, finishing. 6 points on finishing. Thanks, Konami. So if you've always wanted a version of Upamecano who's slightly less terrible at finishing, this is the one for you. Merry Christmas. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but yeah, basically you've got a solid Upamecano card. If you compare it to other versions, there's a very good chance you've already got a better one. As a destroyer, most of us probably got the Tsubasa one, in which case you've got a better one than this. Slightly better, I would say, just for the awareness. But yeah, if you've not already got a better version of Upamecano, he does get a live update, so that would pretty much nullify the issue with the inconsistent form. And yes, there are one or two slight concerns. I guess the awareness being lower than the rest of the defensive attributes might annoy you. It annoys me, but it's still decent enough. We've nudged it up by 2 there. Look at those other defensive attributes: 99, 99, 99. I'll be honest, I've got an old Champions League Player of the Week version of Upamecano as a build-up card, and it's fantastic for me. And when I got the Tsubasa Destroyer version, I figured I'd just end up releasing it because I don't really like destroyers as much as build-up. But I actually tried him a few times. I forget if it's co-op against the AI, and he's fantastic. He's an absolute beast defensively. He just wins everything. So I've kept both versions of my Upamecano. So yeah, if you're not sure about this guy, he is a very solid centre back. You can see from the attributes he's very strong. If you've got a version of Upamecano ready to build up, give him a try. Even if you're not so keen on the destroyer playing style, you might be like me and you might find he's actually really good. But if you've not got a good version already, looking at this pack, even though we're early in the pack here, I think it's pretty safe to say he's one of the better picks out of this pack. It's a really good centre-back on the whole. And yeah, for a freebie, not bad from Konami. And as a special boost from Konami, he's a bit better at finishing than he normally is. So yeah, that is a good centre-back card. And now on to fullbacks. We've got a few fullbacks. We'll start with our left back. One left back in this pack is Andrea Cambiaso from Juventus. He's an attacking left back. He has a face scan. He can play both flanks. He's quite two-footed. Again, inconsistent form, but he does get live update, although he's on D at the moment. Looked like he was going to join Man City in January, but he didn't. What we've got skill-wise, not a lot. So going forward, through passing and pinpoint crossing, great. Defensively, sliding tackle. Yeah, he needs some defensive skills in this guy. I would start with interception, maybe his man marking blocker. But yeah, let's just have a look at how good he actually is. So over to eFootball Hub. All maxed out. He's, yeah, decent. So as is always the case, the auto allocation always goes absolutely crazy on pace on fullbacks, and it doesn't do a great deal in other areas. He's a bit lacking defensively. He's okay down the left there. Physical contact's decent for fullback, it's all right. Balance is a bit on the low side, but yeah, all that pace, that's the one area we got loads of points. We could probably afford to take some points away to balance them out a bit. Before we do that, to compare him to other versions of him, we've had a few versions of Cambiaso. We've had a Player of the Week card that was a little bit better, stats shuffled around here and there. Obviously, it's a Player of the Week card. And we had one from a Serie A pack quite a while ago and one from some kind of Legend pack, both slightly better than this one as well. So this is not the best version for Cambiaso. Technically, it's like the worst, but it does look all right, though, in isolation. We've actually had a half-decent boost on this guy, so most attributes up by 3 or 4. The attribute that boosted the most is defensive engagement. So they put 6 points on defensive engagement. That is actually useful, unlike the previous cards we looked at. So yeah, I think defensive engagement's up a bit. That's into the 80s at least, but the rest of the defensives are a little bit low. So can we tweak the way the points are allocated? We can lose a bit of pace. I don't want to go below 90 stamina. I'm just going to go down to 9 on lower body. I'll leave the 4 points on physical for now. That we can get 3 on defending there. It'd be nice to get that 1 more for tackling. Yeah, not sure if we can. To be honest, I'll be inclined to take 3 on physical contact. I know physical contact is important, but I want that tackling at 80. I want as much as we can get on defending. I'm going to go up to 12 on defending. I'm not going to go any higher because then it'd be 4 points per increase. That's about all I'd do, I think. Yeah, I'll just do that. It's just improved the tackling, really. That's all we've done now. We can afford to lose a few points off lower body. Shame to take a few from physical contact, but still over 70. We're getting that tackling up a bit to 80. Engagement's 88 now, which is great. I think that's worth doing, but I don't think you can do a great deal more. There's no points anywhere else where you can really afford to scrimp them, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's all I do. Just pace onto defending, really. I think that's worthwhile, but is he good on the whole? Well, he's decent. I think this is one of these cards where, if you're new to the game, it would be a useful option, especially with the versatility to be able to play on the left or the right. But yeah, if you've got strong options at fullback, left back, and right back, then I'm not sure how good this guy would be. He's solid. He's got pace. It's just the balance is a bit lacking. And I'd like it to be a bit more tight possession. Maybe I'm being harsh. Actually, he is quite decent. He looks useful. Pace, stamina. Yeah, I think the only real weakness, I'd like the awareness to hit 80, but we're around about the mark. I like the defenses to all be 80 plus, and then I'm happy. I like an attacking fullback. It's very much an attacking fullback, of course. On a defensive fullback, you probably want a bit more on the defenses and a bit more physical contact. But yeah, as an attacking fullback, just the balance I'd like to be a bit higher. Tight possession I'd like to be a bit higher. And then he just needs a few more skills, really. It's just the defensive skills. Sliding tackles, I guess, is handy, but it's not one of the most important defensive skills. Interception, man marking, blocker. Those are the first three I'd look for on a fullback. So if you get this guy and you're planning on using him a lot, you're going to put skills on him. Those are the defensive skills I'd start by putting on him. I think then you're pretty sorted. You've got a pretty solid attacking fullback. I don't think he's amazing, but he's pretty solid. I don't think he's going to let you down, and he's got that versatility as well. So yeah, it's not one I think is overly exciting, but certainly if you need an option, a fullback, certainly a versatile one, especially if you just have someone on your bench you can fill in on both sides, it could be a useful card. So it's not an amazing card, this one, but it's not a bad one. But he does need a few skills there. And next we have a right back. We have Bellanova from Atalanta. He has a face scan. He's an attacking fullback again on D form, bit of a shame, only standard form. Skill wise, not a lot. So realistically, the only use form we've got there is pinpoint crossing. So going forward, that's helpful. Defensively, we need more. So as with Cambiaso, interception, man marking, blocker, those would be the 3 defensive skills I'd really like to put on this guy. But let's have a look on eFootball about how good this guy is. So all boosted up. He's all right again, same kind of thing. So look at that pace, 99 speed, 94 acceleration, 94 stamina. So this guy's got some serious gas on him, but he's not brilliant elsewhere. So very similar situations can be us really. We've had a bunch of versions of Bellanova at this point. There was a few older trainables from quite a while back that weren't quite so great. But the more recent ones from we've had one or two from kind of pay to win packs, Legends or Showtime packs around about this level, to be honest. So it's a pretty solid version of Bellanova. The boost from his GP card, 2 or 3 points on most attributes. The one that boosted the most is low pass, which is good. So put, I think, 6 points on his low pass at level 1. He needs that. If that was down, that would otherwise have been 71, which would not have been good. But getting those points put onto low pass is great. It's still not brilliant, but it's it's okay. I was going to say passable, pun intended. But yeah, that's where you've had the biggest boost out of all his attributes. I'd say down the left is borderline. For me, I'd like a bit more still on low pass. I'd like a bit more on his ball control and tight possession. But you can certainly get away with it. He's got decent dribbling. He's got decent lofted pass with pinpoint crossing as well. So his crossing will be okay. Defensively, though, a bit iffy there. Mid-70s, we definitely need a few points on there. And then down the right, I think everything there is looking pretty good, apart from the balance, which is a little bit low. But this is a big, tall guy. Bellanova's 6'2". So that's why you're not getting much balance on me. You don't often get big, tall players with high balance. So I think you can forgive him a bit of having not having the most on his balance there. But I think the obvious thing to do, though, again, is to take a few points away from nobody. If you take 4 off there, stamina's at 90, I'll leave it at that mark. And then can he get his defending to a decent level? Yeah, reasonable. I think I would literally just do that, to be honest. I wouldn't do much more. You could scrimp those points off aerial, but where are you going to put them? Those 4 on aerial, you're at the 12 mark on defending. The next increase will take 4. If you take all the points off aerial, you only get 1 more on defending. Is it worth it? I don't think so. So, yeah, I don't think... I mean, you could take 4 off acceleration, but you could afford that on acceleration, but you're going to lose 4 points of balance, which already isn't great. So, yeah, that's all I'd do, to be honest. Straight from low body onto defending, similar to Cambiaso. He's still got fantastic pace there. He's still got a decent stamina at the 90 mark. Everything down there, apart from balance, is okay. Defensively, he's certainly I'll be a lot more comfortable now getting up to the high 70s there and all his defending attributes. On the ball, still not brilliant. And as a big, tall guy, you're probably going to notice that he's not going to feel particularly fluid on the ball. But he does have a decent cross. He can dribble a bit. And yeah, it's very similar to Cambiaso, to be honest. And again, you could position train to play on the left if you wanted to, but he's very one-footed. You would need to give him an outside curler. But yeah, like Cambiaso, it's not a particularly amazing fullback. There are qualities to him, and I think he's definitely very usable. If you really need options at right back, then for sure it could be a useful one to pick up. But I think most people have been playing the game for quite a while now. If you've got good right back options, I'm not sure he's one who's going to be getting in your team, but maybe you rock an Italy squad, or maybe he's a useful one for the Italian League Challenge. So yeah, useful I think is the word for this guy, but I don't think he's a particularly amazing card. You've got a couple of positions. You've got right midfield there. I'll just quickly look at what the auto allocation says. The right midfielder, not convinced. But again, we could take a bunch of points off low body there easily. What's 2 still in defending? Can we make him a right winger? Can we make him a cross spammer? An increase of 1 on lofted pass gets that 88. Yunk. Nice. What else we got there? There's a bunch of points on shooting. I don't think we need that. Curl does help with crossing, but it's not the be all and end all. We need to get a few other attributes higher. We can get his dribbling up to 88. And then we've got 3 points left. Where's that going? Ooh. Who knows? I'll just put it back on shooting for a bit of curl on his crosses. Yeah. You want a new cross spam option on the right wing? Is he amazing? No, but he's very quick. He'll get up and down all day. He's got good stamina. His dribbling will be decent. You can get up to 88. Likewise, the crossing, lofted pass 88 with pinpoint crossing skill. Could be a reasonable option as a cross spammer. So there's another option for you if you wanted to do that. And one other position, you could make him a centre-back. I forgot to do this with Cambiaso, but I did it after I stopped recording, and he's rubbish at centre-back, so we didn't miss out there. Can you make Bellanova a centre-back? Not really. Defence is not particularly good. Physical contact, not great. Got great pace, but yeah, not strong enough for a centre-back for me. So yeah, it could be an option if you like spamming crosses as a right winger, but as a right back, whether you leave more auto allocation like that, or you do what I did, you just shuffle some points straight from defending from lower body, onto defending. I think that rounds him out a bit. I don't think he's amazing, but he's got some qualities. Certainly great pace. And yeah, I think he's just one of these cards. Like I say, he's useful. I don't think he's amazing. He just could be useful for you. Could be a decent one to keep hold of for the Italian League Challenge as a right back option. But again, like with Cambiaso, useful, yeah. But is he great? No. And he does need a few skills as well. So yeah, could be right for some people. He's not an amazing card though. And our other right back in this pack is Jonathan Klaus. Plays for Nice now in France. He's got a face scan on B at the moment. Unwavering form as well. That's good, unwavering. We've got skill wise. So got quite a few skills with this guy. Long range shooting, acrobatic finishing, not the most useful on fullback. We'll take them on a rising shot as well. Pinpoint crossing is useful though. Outside curler, low lofted pass, and then interception, slide and tackle, acrobatic clearance, fighting spirit defensively. He's got a good selection of skills for an attacking right back, very good. I'd still probably put man marking blocker on him if you're going to put skills on him, but I think as a starting point, you've got a really good selection of skills there for an attacking right back. So how good is this version of Klaus? Let's have a look on eFootball Hub. He is decent, so kind of similar again to Bellanova and Cambiaso, but we've got a great selection of skills to start with. We've had a few versions of Klaus at this point. There was a Player of the Week card ages ago, that's a good couple of years ago now. Not on this level, that wasn't a great card, certainly hasn't stood the test of time. In terms of trainable versions, there's an old trainable version from some kind of Legend or Showtime pack at the end of the 22-23 season. That was actually a cross specialist. It was a wide midfielder. If you train it as a right midfielder and train this one as a right midfielder, this one's a bit better, I think. But if you train them both as a right back, pretty similar. So if you got that card from a couple of years back now, or a year and a half ago, when would that have been? End of 22-23? I'm losing track. But yeah, if you've still got that card, then as a right back, is about the same level as this one. We've had more recent ones from some Legend packs, which are slightly better than this one. I had the one, in fact, I've still got the one from the France pack with Griezmann, the Legend Griezmann card. That version I've still got, and it's pretty good. It's slightly better than this one, but not a massive difference. He's a very well-rounded attacking right back for me. Yes, some attributes you might like to be a bit higher, certainly defensively. I'd like some defensive attributes and physical contact to be a little bit higher, but I prefer to attack with my fullbacks. I'm more concerned with them getting forward. As long as I've got a bit of defensive ability, I'm okay with them. And Klaus, for me, feels nice. He feels nice on the ball. He's obviously got those skills, and he can get on the ball, he can cross it. He doesn't look like he's any better than Cambiaso or Bellanova, but I've used Cambiaso and Bellanova in the past. I don't know if it's player idea or what, but this guy to me just feels a bit nicer. He feels a bit more comfortable. And yeah, he's a well-rounded attacking fullback for me. But again, it's quite a lot of points on lower body. Certainly those last two increases on lower body are 4 points each. So 2 off lower body gives us 8 points straight away. You could even take more off that. You go all the way down to 8 on lower body. He's still over 90 for speed and acceleration. Still over 80 for kicking power. Acceleration's at 90. So we've freed up 20 points there. Hello. Let's just beef his defending up straight away. Nice. And then we can get another 2 points from somewhere. Just that tight possession. I'll leave it there. Yeah, so you can round them out pretty nicely there. So still 90 plus speed, acceleration, stamina. The balance over 80. The physical contact's still a bit of a concern. Not a massive concern for fullback, for me. Certainly on an attacking fullback. But those defenses up to a much nicer level now. On the ball as well. Looking pretty comfortable on the ball and with the low and lofted pass there. Yeah, I like the look of this guy, to be honest. So this is similar to the way that I've trained mine. Like I say, when I initially said I like mine, you're probably looking at the stats thinking, well, he's the same as Cambiaso and Bellanova. But when you tweak him, he shuffles some points from low body. You realise this is the kind of build I've done on mine, and he is a pretty well-rounded attacking fullback. So yeah, he's not quite as good as the recent versions of Klaus, but if you like an attacking fullback, I can recommend this guy. Yeah, he might not be as good as those two most recent ones, but he's not far off them, and he still looks like could be a very decent one if you like that kind of a fullback. What they've done from his GP card, most attributes, most of them up by about 2. There's a few up by 1 or 3. The one attribute that boosted the most is actually tight possession. They put 6 points on tight possession. So clearly he needs that because that's slightly lower than his other on the ball attributes there. So that's a good boost for me. That's okay on attacking fullback. And yeah, like I say, he's got good selection skills. Maybe if you're gonna use this guy a lot, man marking and blocker would be worth using. Would be worth adding to him. But on the whole, he's very much an attacking fullback. As a defensive fullback, you might struggle to make him strong enough physically. And you could shuffle the points from all of his technicals if you want a real defensive fullback. How high can you get his physicals? I mean, you can get him up to about 73 for physical contact. Is it worth it? I'm not sure personally. Leave that on 4. And I'll leave that the way I trained him. So yeah, got a decent cross on this guy. He's got good skills as an attacking fullback, very well rounded for me. That's roughly how I train him. And based on my experience with him, yeah, I think he's worth having if you like an attacking fullback. But again, he's playing in France, plays for Nice these days. We don't get a French league challenge, so you're looking at either rocking a France squad or putting him in your squad for divisions. Is he strong enough for that? Don't know, questionable. But out of all these players, if you've got contracts to use up, he's struggling to choose someone. For me, out of all the fullbacks, I would choose this guy based on previous experience. I've not used Cambiaso or Bellanova a lot. but I've used them both a bit. I've used Klaus quite a bit, and I've kept hold of my one from that France pack, even though I don't really use them because I don't get, we don't get a French League challenge, but when I do rock a France squad on some rare occasions, I put him straight in that squad, and he's never let me down. So there's an attacking right back. Oh, and he's got right midfield as well. I mustn't forget to train him as a right midfielder. So if we make him a right winger, all those points from defending and aerial, how good can we make him going forward? Get him to the 88 mark, lofted pass. And dribbling, got 2 points left. Bit of curl. In fact, I'll nick one from low body. Give him even more curl. Get him to the 80 mark for curl. Yeah, decent. So pace is very decent on a wide midfielder. Good stamina. Balance is okay. We've got him at the 88 mark for dribbling. 88 for lofted pass. He's got pinpoint crossing. Yeah, definitely. Again, similar to Bellanova. But again, I would say better than Bellanova. He's not as tall. He's got better balance. I think he's a bit better on the ball overall. The ball control and tight possession. Based on how nice he's felt for me as a fullback, and that's trained as a fullback, because I've not used him trained as a winger before. He's obviously going to feel even nicer if you train him this way. So if you want a right wing option, whips and crosses in, that could be an option for you. It looks like a very usable option as a right wing. He's certainly got the skills for it. You got your shooting. I'm not sure he's ever done an acrobatic finish before, but he's got some shooting skills there. Pinpoint crossing, outside curl, low lofted pass. Yeah, right wing option, definitely usable. I'm not sure there's any point in showing you how he trains up as a centre back, even though you can train him as a centre back. But we'll have a look anyway. Nah, physical contact kills him more than anything. Some qualities elsewhere, but no, you're not going to make him a centre back. This guy's a right back or a right winger. As a right back, like I say, as an attacking right back, I recommend him. I think he could be a useful one to pick up for one of your selection contracts, but it could be a usable right winger as well if you like spamming crosses in. So a couple of ways you can use this guy, and I think out of the fullbacks he'd be my pick. It's a decent card, this. Now into the midfield, and we start with Samuele Ricci from Torino. He's an orchestrator. He has a face scan, only standard form, but he seems to play pretty well for Torino. We'll see his form in a moment on eFootball Hub. Skill-wise, not a lot, but we've got most of the important ones. So as a starting point, one-touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, interception, those ones very important. Gamesmanship, not massive, but I'll take it. But certainly the other 4 skills he's got there, very good start from DMF or CMF. So let's jump over to eFootball Hub. How good is this Ricci card? All maxed out. Yeah, pretty decent. So again, this is one I've used before. I picked him up from some kind of legend box when I was spinning. He is one of the highlight cards, and I've got to say he's pretty solid. Unfortunately for him, I've got better options in the Italian channel because I've got Davids and Pirlo, so he doesn't really get much of a look in, but I have used him a few times, and he's pretty solid. He's a nice all-rounder, feels all right on the ball. He's got a bit of everything. Just slightly lacking with the attacking awareness and the physical contact. That's about it, really. Apart from that, he's a solid looking midfielder and finishing, but I'm not sure that's overly important on an orchestrator. He's going to be a deep line playmaker. That playing style will be active both DMF and CMF. He's just going to kind of roam around in the middle of the park, and he's not going to run forward too much. I don't know when they added SS as a semi-proficient position. That's wild. Ricci is an SS. When did that happen? I've seen him a bunch of times over the last couple of years. I've never seen him even play as an AMF. Never mind SS. That's bizarre. But yeah, you can position train him as SS. We'll look at that in a second, I guess. But yeah, other versions of Ricci, we've had a couple of versions from Legend Boxes. Obviously, I got one of them. They're both a bit better than this one, to be honest. So it's not the best version of Ricci, but it's still pretty tidy looking. Compared to his GP card, most attributes are up by a few. They put about 3 on most attributes, but the biggest boost, they put +6 on defensive awareness. That's decent. I'll definitely take that. So yeah, this is it's not the best version of Ricci, but if you've not got a highlight card of Ricci before, I think this is definitely someone worth considering. He's a solid option as a centre mid or DMF. As you see, his registered position is DMF, so with the auto allocation, they put quite a lot of points on defending. Yeah, you see he's up to 12 on defending, and he is quite strong there. If you want him as like an out-and-out defensive mid, you can actually lose a few of passing. It's not what I personally would do, but a lot of people don't mind a lack of, lacking a bit down the left-hand side. If that's the case, then I'll just do a build that might suit you a bit better. And to be honest, I think the point, I was going to try and beef him up even more defensively, but if you want him as an out-and-out defensive mid, I think physical contact would be the first, your first port of call to try and boost his attributes a bit. How high can he get that? Can we get to the 80 mark? Yeah, you'd have to scrimp a bit from elsewhere, but yeah, as an out-and-out DMF, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. I think this guy's nice on the ball. He's got good passing. I think you get more value out of this guy as part of a double pivot or as an all-rounder, as a centre mid. So let's just go back to auto allocation, and can we round him out a bit? Certainly the pass, we nick one off passing, leave it at 90. I'd like him a bit better on the ball, actually. I'll put 1 on the ball. See if we can at least get the ball control to the 88 mark. We just need to increase that by 2 more. We can nick 1 off lower body. That's 1 on his dribbling. Defending, we don't need it that high. I'll just go down to 9. You could actually get him up to 90 ball control, to be honest. I'm going to do that. We've done quite a defensive build. The auto allocation is pretty defensive. A bit more attacking awareness, please. Yeah, I'd probably just stick at that, I think. Yeah, it's not a massive change from his auto allocation. Mainly we boosted him on the ball. They get the ball control to 90. If you want more of an all-rounder, if he's in a double pivot, or if you're going to play him as a centre midfielder, you've got 1 or 2 midfielders behind him doing the defending, anchor man, destroyer, whatever. Yeah, I would go for something like that. Like I say, he's not got many skills, but he's got some of the most important ones already. He doesn't desperately need anything. Certainly, if you play him as a DMF, I think man marking and block will be useful. Maybe outside curl, although he's reasonably two-footed. Maybe some shooting skills, but I'm not sure how often he's going to get into shooting positions. I'm not sure if that'd be worth it, really. I think, to be honest, this guy as he is, unless you're going to put him in your team and use him in divisions all the time, it's probably not worth using skill trainers because he's got some of the most important ones there. Maybe his fighting spirit actually could be a useful one. Could be a good one to put on him. But yeah, it's a solid midfielder, this guy. Like I say, I've used him a few times. I've used him more against the AI than I have online. But even online, on a few occasions when I've used him online, he's been useful. He feels nice on the ball. You've got a couple of ways you can build him as well. And if you like an all-rounder in the middle of the park, the orchestrated playing style works for you. On my experience, I can recommend this guy. I think it could be a very solid option for one of your selection contracts. And like I say, to give him more of a kind of number 10 build, since they've, for some reason, made him semi-proficient at SS, I'll just do 1 build as a kind of number 10, whether you use him as an AMF or an SS, which is basically try and make him better getting forward. So I'll put a few more on attacking awareness straight away. I mean, he's all right, pretty good already on the ball and with his passing. Let's just get his attack awareness at 80, can we? Just about, yeah. The shooting's going to be an issue, but getting that attack awareness out, the bounce is up. The acceleration's at 90, bounce almost 90. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you could, if you take the 1 back from shooting, take 1 off lower body, you can actually get... Oh no, he's at 12 on dexterity, so he can't get his bounce up to 90. Never mind. We'll just put him back to where he was a moment ago, yeah. You could build him as an AMF or an SS. I wouldn't really recommend it, but you could do a job for you. It's just that shooting is going to be terrible, and he doesn't have the shooting skills either, so basically don't shoot. But by all means pass it, because he's going to be good at passing. He can create chances for you, tidy on the ball. You can get the attack awareness up to 80 with the acceleration 90, bounce 89. His pace on the whole will be alright. His speed won't be great, but the acceleration makes up for that to an extent, yeah. I'm not sure I'd necessarily recommend building him and using him as an attacking mid or an SS. It would take position trainers. You might want to put a couple of shooting skills, attacking skills on him. Is it worth it? Don't know. But certainly, as an all-rounder, where was the auto allocation initially? DMF. Yeah, I'll leave him on the auto allocation as a DMF. Whether you train like that or whether you tweak him for more of an all-rounder kind of build that I gave him. Like I say, the experience I've had, somewhat limited experience, but he has felt pretty nice for me. And this to me, for a freebie, if you use your selection contract on this guy, you want a solid midfield option, can use him in the Italian League Challenge. I think it could be good value for you. I think it's a solid looking midfield card, this. And next up is Fagioli. So he's on loan at Fiorentina from Juventus. He has a face scan. He has B form at the moment, but he's only got standard form. He's an orchestrator like Ricci. Skill-wise, so we got more skills than Ricci, but we don't have anything defensively. Got a couple of skill moves there. Heel trick, long range curves, a good one touch and 3-weighted. Yeah, got pretty decent section skills going forward, but depending on how you're going to use this guy, certainly as a CMF with the orchestrated playing style active, I would want at least interception on him defensively. Could train him as a DMF as well. Let's just have a look at how good he is though. Let's go over to eFootball Hub. So, all trained up as a CMF. Definitely got some qualities on this guy. So, on the ball, pretty tidy. Passing, fantastic. 97 low pass on a free card. Hello. Interesting. So, yeah, we're going to do a few builds on this guy. Depends how you're going to use him. Let's just start as a DMF. We'll just see. If you position train this guy as a DMF, what does the auto allocation tell us? It tells us he's not brilliant defensively. So, I mean, you could nick a few off passing there. Nudge him up to 80 tackling. Could you get away with him as a DMF? You could get away with him. Is that the best way to use him? I don't know. You'd need to give him defensive skills. You'd need to position train him. I'm not sure position making him a DMF would really be worthwhile. You could make him very usable there, though, for sure. But yeah, let's just go back to CMF, though. We'll make him more of an all-rounder. So CMF, Again, like with Ricci, orchestrated playing style would be like a deep line playmaker or roam around the middle of the park. He won't push forward too much. That passing is outstanding, so let's reduce it. We just need to beef him up a bit elsewhere. That one thing, that attacking awareness is the one thing that jumps out to me. That's not high enough. He is only on orchestrator, so it's not too important, to be fair. You might consider that's not much of an issue. But let's just see if we can just round him out and beef him up a bit elsewhere. Yeah, I would. He's got still 6 on defending. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, we need a bit more defending. Even if he's yeah, okay, hang on. So we'll do kind of a well-rounded build first. As an all-rounder in the middle of the park, and then we'll move him up the field. Well, I'll just increase that. I've got the engagement to 80 at least. Could do with more attacking and more aerial strength. Nip that point, but 1 increase back from dribbling. Yeah, I would probably do something like that. So you would definitely need 1 or 2 midfielders behind him doing the bulk of the defensive work. He's not brilliant defensively, even increasing his defensive there. Again, we've gone up to 10 on defending, still not great. His tackling's only 77. He doesn't have any defensive skills, so we need defensive skills. And even then, he's not been great defensively, but certainly he's still very tidy on the ball. We've taken a whole bunch of points away from his passing, but he's still at the 90 mark for low pass. He's got 1 touch and through. A reasonable pace for a midfielder. Stamina's reasonable. Decent balance. Not great physical contact. Attacking-wise isn't great. So, yeah, as an all-rounder, not bad. I think the way you're going to get the most out of this guy might well be as an attacking midfielder without an active playing style. Orchestrator won't be active MF, so if you play him MF, he won't have an active playing style. Some people like that, some people don't. I find it's not a problem at all. I've got no problem playing players without an active playing style in most positions, so that wouldn't be a problem for me. So if we play him as an attacking midfielder, we'll take all those points back from defending, yoink, and from aerial strength. How good can we make him going forward? So beef up his balance a bit. I'm going up to 10 on dexterity. Still not great attacking awareness. Yeah, tight possession. Oh, what happened there? Tight possession up to 90. Got 9 points still. Should we get the acceleration to 90? Yes. And let's just put the last ones on passing. He's not going to be great at finishing no matter what you do. But pretty tidy on the ball. Nice passing. Got some zip about him now. The acceleration up to 90. Balance 91. The attacking awareness is still a little bit low. Without an active playing style, attacking awareness there, I don't know how many attacking ones he's going to be making, but certainly I imagine he would play kind of like a creative playmaker, really. If you use him as an attacking mid, could well be a decent option. Again, this is a free card, so I'll try not to be harsh. The attack awareness is a bit lower. The finishing is going to be terrible. Does have long range curler. But yeah, I think there's a guy who's got some qualities, but 1 or 2 slight concerns there. So you could use him as an attacking mid. He's got a lot of quality technically there. Could certainly create some chances for you. Could be a decent option as an attacking mid, to be honest. Be well worth a try. As an SS, I wouldn't do much different. I think SS, I mean, is Fagioli an SS? I don't know. I think finishing becomes more important as an SS. Could you really free up the points to give him better finishing? Not really. You probably, the only thing you could really do is take points of passing. And then maybe 1 off dribbling, I guess. Get to the 70 mark for finishing. 1 point left, stick on aerial. As an SS, probably do that. Don't know. I think some kind of attacking mid type of build is probably the best way to do it, or even just use him as an orchestrator. Or just go back to your auto allocation as an orchestrator. Except the fact he's not great at defending. Make sure you got at least 1 midfielder behind him doing the defensive work, and just use him at what he's best at. Playmaking from deep. He's certainly got outstanding passing with auto allocation. I would personally take points off low pass, like I've been doing with a few of the builds I just did, and try and beef him up a bit elsewhere. Whether it's the attacking awareness or the defending, whatever it is, you've got points you can free up there. But if you just want to make him amazing at passing, he is amazing at passing, because 97 low pass on a free card, that's not bad. It's got long range curler. Could you make him a wide midfielder? I'm just going to cover all options here. I mean, left mid and right mid, it'll build him the same way. If he was right mid, if you gave him pinpoint crossing, you could make him a right mid. His crossing would be pretty good if you gave him pinpoint crossing. That's the auto allocation as a wide midfielder. I don't think I'll change much. We've got 2 points of defending there. Yoink, I'll take those back. Let's see, as a left midfielder, you just want to... Yeah, get that finishing to 70. He's got long range curler. You could make him a left mid. He's not got great speed. The acceleration's alright. Balance is pretty good. Stamina's pretty good. He's pretty comfortable on the ball. He's not much of a dribbler though. But the passing's going to be very good for a wide midfielder. Yeah, left midfield. I mean, you could take some of those points off passing, to be honest. Beef is shooting up a bit more. Maybe let's do that. Yeah. It's an option. Attacking when it's a bit dodgy, speed a bit dodgy. I don't know how many people want to make this guy left mid, to be honest. And right mid likewise. You give him pinpoint crossing. He could be a tidy option for the right midfield as well. But yeah, I think for most people, some kind of centre mid attacking mid type of build would be the best way to go with this guy. You've got both those positions you can play him in. Just depends on what kind of midfield setup you've got. But like I say, that passing is absolutely outstanding with auto location. You can leave him like that and have him as a very effective deep line playmaker, or you could round him out, take some points in passing, and give him a more rounded build. Whether you beef up his defending, play him as a CMF, or whether you go for a more kind of all-out attacking build as an AMF. But certainly, passing stands out with this guy. There are qualities with him. And just looking at his boost quickly before I finish up. So most attributes up by 3 from his GP card at level 1, some by 2, but the big boost is on kicking power. Nice, fair enough. So it'll help with his shooting. Been a bit of a debate on passing lately. Kicking power doesn't seem to have any impact on how much power there is in your passes, but I'm yet to see someone prove whether it has any impact on the accuracy of your passes. That's something I'd really like to see someone prove. I wish I had the time to prove that myself. But yeah, certainly he's had a boost on kicking power though, +6 it looks like. So yeah, it's an interesting version of Fagioli, an interesting card. Certainly, if your focus on a midfielder is the passing, could be a fantastic freebie. But like I said, if you take some of the points from passing, you can afford to. You can beef him up elsewhere. Could make him a very interesting option in some kind of midfield role within your midfield. So for quite a few people, it could be useful on this. And our next midfielder is Pascal Groß. So Pascal Groß is now at Dortmund. He's back in his native Germany. He's an orchestrator centre midfielder. He has a face scan. He has unwavering form, although again, he won't get live update. He's not going to get any live update playing for Dortmund, or they might do playing for Germany. Skill-wise, as you'd expect, all attacking skills really. We've got sliding tackle though. Nice. So he can do a sliding tackle, but apart from that, he's got some shooting, passing, crossing. Everything you expect really from Pascal Groß end product. That's what he's all about. Soul control as well, nice. But let's have a look at how good he is on eFootball Hub though. So this is just another classic example of a card where you look down the left, you're thinking, oh, interesting, got some real quality this guy, and then you look down the right, oh dear, he is very slow, he's quite weak, he doesn't have good balance, got great stamina, but yeah, so he can run around at 2 miles an hour all day long and not get tired. Excellent. So yeah, got a bunch of positions as well. Interesting. So Groß, we've had a few versions of Groß on eFootball. We had a Player of the Season card from when he was at Brighton. That was a bit better overall, not a massive difference. We've had a Player of the Week version of him from when he was at Brighton. That was a fullback finisher, right back fullback finisher. They put a nice kind of boost on his pace on that card, so it's more suitable playing right mid or right back. But through the middle, I'd say this one is better than that Player of the Week card. We've had an orchestrated version in some kind of legend box that was a bit better than this one, and we've also had another one from some kind of legend box a while back. There was an attacking midfielder with the box-to-box playing style, which is bizarre because box-to-box is not active as an attacking midfielder. I think this one's probably a bit better than that one, but yeah, it's a solid version of Groß in terms of overall ability, but all very different. All the versions of Groß that we've had have kind of at least had the stats shuffled around a bit, if not drastically. So yeah, decent card, but like I say, left column versus right column. That's the dilemma. You're gonna pick this guy based on the fact he's great technically, or are you gonna say no, thank you, because he's athletically horrendous. It'll be the latter for me. I need a bit more pace and mobility on players. It's not the most exciting boost from his GP card. Most attributes up by 1 or 2. The one attribute they boosted the most is aggression. Yay. +5 on aggression. Okay, not the most important attribute. Again, a bunch of cards in this pack where they've done similar. They boosted that. The one attribute that boosted the most is not particularly useful. This is one of them. It's just a question of how you're gonna train this guy. I think the obvious thing to do is to try and beef him up athletically and take a few from passing there. I mean, I'll start just by ruling out a few positions. Can you make him a right back? Absolutely not. Do you want a right back with 74 speed, 71 acceleration? No. I mean, he could take all these points off his technicals, but how much pace are you be able to give him? And he can't defend either. I mean, it's a waste of time. Let's not do that. Right midfield, if you really don't mind the fact he's incredibly slow, he's certainly got a nice cross on him. Lofted pass, curl, kicking power. He's got a good cross on him from the right-hand side. He just can't run very fast. So if you don't mind him being slow, you've got an option as a right midfielder for sure. But through the middle, I think is where we're going to be looking at using this guy primarily. Can you make him a DMF? Again, no, he can't defend to save his life. He's not physically strong. And they've taken a bunch of points away from his technicals there. I don't think that's the thing to do. I think you definitely don't want to give this guy too much defensive responsibility. You're definitely going to look at him as either a centre midfielder or an attacking midfielder. So we'll start with centre mid. This is the auto allocation. So again, points away from passing now. You've got to do that. We've got to make him a bit better athletically. I think I'll give him dexterity first, because those dexterity they've only put 4 on. So 8 points will get you all the way up to lower body. Lower body already at 8, so it's going to take you 3 points per increase. Honestly, he's that bad defensively. I'm just going to take all those points from defending. It's pointless trying to make him capable of defending. It would take you so many points. I don't think it's worth it. I'm just going to make him better on the ball there, and then get his kicking power up to 90. He's going to have a half decent shot on him. And to be honest, I might just put the last 3 on shooting. Yeah, I'm just going straight to quite an attacking build, to be honest. So he's either going to be a very forward-thinking orchestrator, have other players doing the defensive work, and just let him play make him very nice on the ball, nice passing, a few more points in his finishing there. He's got the shooting skills, he's got the kicking power, should have a decent long-range shot on him. Attacking minutes up to 80, kicking power up to 90, stamina's outstanding. Balance is still horrible, but you're not going to get that to a particularly decent level, are you? Obviously he's slow as hell, but yeah, I think as a deep line playmaker who's very much focused on his attacking ability, or as an attacking midfielder, I think this build probably suits him better as an attacking midfielder. Again, he won't have an active playing style as an attacking midfielder, because the orchestrated playing style won't be active there. If you don't like that, then hard luck, I'm afraid. But if you do, then I think this guy could be pretty useful there. You just got to be mindful of that complete lack of pace, because he is very slow. And when you're in possession, if you hold onto it too long, your opponent starts putting physical pressure on you. You're not sure how well he's going to cope. So yeah, that right column is a big concern for me, but certainly when he's on the ball and he's not getting dispossessed, he can do a lot with the ball, passing and shooting, loads of end product. So if the pace doesn't matter for you, if you don't mind your midfielders lacking pace, and there are plenty of people who don't mind a lack of pace in midfielder, then this guy could be a really good pick, because technically he's fantastic. He's got bags of end product, but that athletic, that right column, the athletic attributes there, for a lot of people I think might kill him. So for some people it could be a pretty handy one. It could be very productive for you with the technical ability he's got. But if the athletic attributes are a concern for you, which they are for me, they might put you off him. And again, he doesn't get live update, although as you can see here, when he's on international duty, he might get the occasional A or B. So yeah, plenty of positives with this guy, but some pretty significant negatives as well. Just depends on what's important for you. But if he does work for you, it could be a very good one. But like I say, athletically, for a lot of people, including me, very off-putting. And next we have our very first featured version of Manu Koné, or Kouadio Koné, depending on what name you want to use for his first name. So Koné from Roma. Got a face scan, box-to-box centre midfielder, can play in DMF, can position training for AMF if you want to. Only standard form, but he is getting live update these days, because obviously in Serie A. Skill-wise, we've got a bunch of skills here, but we don't have any of the most important ones. That's annoying. So we don't have one-touch pass, we don't have through passing, we don't have interception. That's a shame. You're going to need to put skills on this guy if you're going to use him a lot. Is he two-footed? No. So outside curler, I think, as well. So one-touch pass, through passing, interception, outside curler. Maybe fighting spirit, up to you for the 5th one. There's a bunch of skills you could use, but there's 4 there that I think I'll put on him straight away if you are going to use this guy a lot. I imagine Roman fans may well do, but yeah, let's jump over to eFootball Hub and see how good this Koné card is. So like I say, it's the first time I've had a version of him, so we can't really compare it to any other versions except obviously his base card. And the boost they've given him, they put about 4 points on most attributes. And again, a not particularly useful boost in terms of the one they boosted the most, because they put 6 points on place kicking. So he's a little bit less crap at place kicking. Awesome. Surely they could have put that boost on something else, like balance or a wet defensive awareness or something useful. But no, maybe not. So yeah, it's looking decent. This is, like I said, it's the first time I've had a version of him. Decent technically, not great defensively. It's a question of where you're going to use him. I'm just going to initially ask what the auto allocation is for DMF. So okay, you can make him reasonable as a DMF, but that would have to be in a double pivot. You're not going to make this guy your lone DMF, no way. We have lost a bit obviously technically, but you can get the tackling into the 80s at least. I don't think I'll change an awful lot about him here. Would be nice. I mean, for me personally, I like a bit more passing than that. If you could get that passing up just by 1, you could get to 88. It's not, I mean, if you nick the couple from there, his stamina's kind of okay. It's not quite as high, obviously. That's borderline 88. I'd like to hit the 90 mark, but that way you can nudge his passing up to 88, low pass 88, get a tight possession to 80. I would maybe do that. In a double pivot could be pretty useful. In any position, you're going to need skills, as I already mentioned. That he is lacking skills, certainly as a DMF. You might want to use that 5th skill slot to give him maybe his man marking or blocker. But there's a bunch of skills he needs in any position. But yeah, as a DMF, lone DMF, no, especially with that playing style box to box, he'll still be getting up and down the pitch. But certainly in a double pivot, could be decent. As a CMF though, let's go to CMF. So back to the auto allocation. Passing nice, on the ball, fairly tidy. Dribbling higher than ball control. I'd say that's quite unusual on centre mid. The defensives aren't great. So I think as a CMF like this, you're going to need, again, 1 or 2 midfielders doing the bulk of the defensive work for him, because he's not great defensively, especially without more defensive skills. Down the right, the physical strength and the balance, a little bit lacking. Certainly the balance is a little bit lacking. Stamina's around about on the mark. I need it to be. Pace is decent enough. Yeah, as an all-round, he's got qualities, but defensively as a centre midfielder, as an all-rounder, a bit lacking there. Attacking awareness, a little bit lacking, as well as defensive awareness. Shooting, not great as well. You can nick a few points of passing there. But can you make him particularly good defensively? Not really. I mean, almost at the 80 mark for attacking. We're going back to pretty much the DMF build, to be honest. I don't think that's really worthwhile. Yeah. I think as an all-rounder, he's decent. He looks like he might feel all right on the ball with that decent dribbling there, but I don't know. I just feel like he's one of these cards where you got some qualities there, but there's 1 or 2 attributes here and there that are a little bit iffy, and he needs a bunch of skills. So not overly convinced by this guy. If you've been waiting for a version of this guy, I think Roma fans probably have been. He's looked pretty good for Roma. He's looking like a bargain for him. I think he's only about 10-15 million euros. Looking like a good player for them. So yeah, I imagine Roman fans will be very keen to finally have a good version of this guy. But if you're not a Roman fan, if you've not been waiting for a version of this guy, he's not a bad card, but I just think there are too many attributes I'd like to be hired. Whatever position you put him in, whatever kind of build you give him in, you can't quite get all the attributes to where you want them to be, and he needs skills as well. So not a bad card, but just not quite one that I think would be great value unless you've got that emotional attachment to the guy. But as an attacking mid though, in fact, you could position train for wide midfield as well. Let's just see what it says for wide midfield. So what skills have we got? We've not got long range curler, but you could give him long range curler, play him off the left wing maybe, possibly. Is that a good use for this guy? Is it worth doing? No, probably not. Right midfield, pinpoint crossing. Again, you could do that. Is it worth doing? I don't know. You've got the option if for some reason you want to make Koné a left mid or right mid, but that's up to you. He wouldn't be a bad one. You need to give him skills still. You need the position trainers. I'm not sure that's what most people would want to do. He's already semi-proficient at AMF. Could we make him an AMF? Let's just see. So not a lot of points to play with. Not a lot I'd do again, really. I think with the auto allocation, it's around about on the mark. Could be decent there. He's got long range shooting, weight to pass, side off the pass, but he does need skills. He needs 1-touch pass, 3 passing. I keep saying that's the one thing with this guy. If you've got loads of skill trainings, if you're going to use this guy a lot, then if you gave him the skills, he could be a really useful one. He's got some qualities. I think going forward, he's definitely better than he is defensively. Finishing isn't great. He's got long range shooting to make up for it, but it's not going to make his shooting brilliant. It's just going to improve it from outside the box. He is tidy on the ball, depending how you train him. This is obviously a kind of an AMF type of build, but you can make him pretty nice on the ball, give him pretty nice passing. You will need those passing skills. Down the right hand side, he's kind of okay, whatever you do, really. So yeah, I'll leave him on auto allocation as a centre mid, box to box. I think this is an okay card. He's got some qualities for sure. Technically, down the left hand side, that's where he's best on the ball and with his passing, but you're still going to need to give him passing skills. He's not great defensively. There's 1 or 2 other attributes I'd like to be a bit higher. So on the whole, in terms of all the attributes, not brilliant. The boost they've given him with place kicking more than anything else is just another useless boost, really. Just a slight annoyance. So there's a bunch of things with this guy in terms of the attributes that are a little bit disappointing, and he needs a bunch of skills. So it is not a bad card, but I think there's just too much that you need to do with this guy to make him usable. But if you do have an emotional attachment to this guy, if you're a Roma fan, I do think there are qualities there, and if you do give him the skills, then certainly you could make him into a very usable midfielder. But and especially for the Italian League challenge. But yeah, with the lack of skills and the fact that there's always 1 or 2 attributes, no matter how you build them, they're a little bit low for me. It's not one of the more appealing cards in this pack for me. Next we have Youssouf Fofana from AC Milan. So we have a face scan. We have a box-to-box centre midfielder. Can play DMF as well. Can play all over the midfield if he's position training. Standard form, he's on D. He's been a bit up and down for AC Milan this season. Skill-wise, I think they've changed something recently. I'm sure I've got the version of him from the France pack, the Griezmann one. And I think they've swapped interception for blocker at some point. So blocker's great, but interception is a big miss. We've got man marking as well. But defensively, yeah, if you're going to give this guy any defensive responsibility, you're going to need to give him interception back. And then going forward, one touch pass, weighted pass, outside curl, low lofted pass, great, but we need through passing as well. So through passing and interception, 2 skills you need. Outside of that, he's got a good selection there, but those 2 skills will be very important to give him if you're going to use this guy. But let's have a look at how good he is on eFootball Hub. So get all trained up, all boosted. He's pretty solid. First thing I notice, again, attacking when 71, that sucks. Bounce is not brilliant. Elsewhere, looking pretty strong, to be honest. We've had a few versions of Fofana. We had a regular Worldwide Player of the Week card that wasn't quite as good as this. We had a Champions League Player of the Week card quite recently that is a bit better than this. We had a Player of the Season card from when he was at Monaco that's a bit better than this one as well. And likewise, the one from the France pack was a bit better than this one. And there's one with a kind of dark red football background. I guess that's been, I think, an AC Milan pack quite recently from some kind of legend box. That was a bit better than this one as well. So yeah, not the best version of Fofana. I think you'll find it with a lot of the cards in this pack because they're freebies. That's pretty much what you expect. You can't really complain, but it's still a decent looking card. The boost they've given him from his GP card, they put, I think, 3 points on most of his attributes, but the biggest boost, there's a decent one on this one, 6 on tackling, so that's good. So that's one of the better boosts that they've done on the cards in this pack. And yeah, like I say, looking pretty solid. Let's just do the same thing again. We'll start from DMF and we'll just see what the auto allocation says. So as a defensive midfielder, yeah, he looks usable, definitely. I think for people who aren't too worried about the technicals on the left, yeah, it's a solid build. I mean, a lot of people don't mind a low kind of attribute on low pass on a defensive midfielder. So you could do that, free up 8 more points there. You could just stick him straight on aerial, to be honest. That's probably a decent way to do it. You could also nick some from low. You could take 4 off lower body actually as a defensive midfielder. So we're going for a real defensive build here. Okay. Is that worth it? +4 to get the engagement to 88? Yeah, why not? 1 point left. Yay. Goalkeeper 1. Who cares? Yeah, definitely need his interception. But if you give him interception, again, keep in mind that box-to-box playing style. But if you play him as a defensive midfielder, you want to focus on his defensive ability, you can make him pretty strong there. Defensive attributes are strong. Physical contact is strong. Not great technically, but like I say, this is a build for those who want a real out-and-out defensive mid who don't mind the technicals being a bit low. Defensive midfielder could be strong there. If you wanted to be a low in DMF, could do that job. You'd need to put a defensive instruction on him so that to prevent that box-to-box playing style from allowing him to roam forward too much. But yeah, as your lone DMF, you've got an option there. In a double pivot, we'll just go back to auto allocation. So in a double pivot, more of an all-round build. I'm just going to go back to 8. I mean, to be honest, I think we're going for pretty much the auto allocation at centre mid, aren't we? Yeah. So let me just take a couple off low pass, leave that at 90. I'm going to put 1 on dribbling, get the ball control to 88. Need a bit more dexterity, actually. I'm going to take those 4 off low body again, because that does free up a few points for us. I'm going to put his balance up to 80. I think that's what I would do. As an all-rounder, you got a bit of defensive ability there, tackling at 85 thanks to the boost they've given him. Bit of physical strength, you've got the balance up to 80, stamina still at 90, reasonable pace, fairly tidy on the ball, good passing. Again, you'll need to give him the through passing skill. Attacking awareness up to 76 as well. So the attacking defensive awareness both at 76. Either in a double pivot or as a centre mid as a kind of all-rounder, I think he's pretty solid. The version I've got of him, I've got to be honest, I've not used him much. I've used him a few times, but I've got that many better options in midfield. I've never really had a reason to use him much. It's just on the rare occasions I've done a France squad in the national challenge. I've used him once or twice in that. He's all right. He's solid. He doesn't feel particularly amazing, but he definitely gets the job done for you. He's a good solid all-rounder. I think that's what you got here. You got a solid all-round centre mid. He does need those 2 skills, interception and through passing. But if you give him interception and through passing, either as a DMF or as a CMF, I think he's a solid midfielder. He might be one of the better ones in this pack. I don't think it's an amazing one, but he's certainly very solid. I don't see any significant weaknesses here with him. Just not an exciting one. But if you want a useful one, you're going to get use out of. It will be used. You can use him in the Italian League Challenge because he's at Milan now. could be one you can get some value out of for one of your selection contracts. So yeah, centre midfield, all-round build, pretty solid. But we do have a few more midfield positions. Could you make him a wide midfielder? Again, I'm not going to recommend this, but I'm going to show you how good he could be as a wide midfielder, just so that you know. Nah, not brilliant for me. And there's not an awful lot you can do really with the point allocation. So yeah, right mid or left mid, if you really want to, could be alright, but not for me. As an attacking midfielder though, maybe. I mean, the shooting's not great. To be honest, if the finishing's still only going to be 67, I'll just take those 4 points back and try and focus on his passing. Can we get that low past the 90? Yes. They've gone ham on the underball attributes. I can understand that, I guess. Can't quite get the bounce to 80. That's annoying. I mean, you could scrimp one from the dribbling, get his bounce to 80. Yeah, whichever way you want to do it. He's not going to be brilliant as an AMF. He's certainly going to be fairly tidy on the ball. Pretty good passing if you give him through passing. Attacking awareness is a little bit on the low side for me. You won't have an active playing style as an attacking midfielder. Yeah, he could be alright as an attacking mid, but I don't think that's really worth doing. I think with this guy, what you've got is a guy you could train to be a DMF. You could make him your lone DMF. You can make him pretty strong defensively and physically. But as an all-rounder, as a centre mid or in a double pivot DMF, give him a kind of all-round build, balance out the attributes. He could be pretty handy. I think he's a solid card. I don't think it's one of the more exciting ones in this pack, but if you're looking at one that's going to be, a practical choice, you're going to get a decent amount of use out of. If you need centre mid options, I think he's solid. He could definitely do a job for you. He could certainly be a useful option for the Italian League Challenge, if nothing else. It's a solid centre midfield card, that. Move on to the attacking players now. We'll start with Bradley Barcola from PSG. So he's got his face scan. I'm pretty sure he's one of the players who's got hair that kind of flaps around when he's running around on the pitch, which looks pretty cool. He's a prolific winger. He's a left wing forward, can play right wing forward, can play centre forward as well. Only standard form, but I'm pretty sure he gets a fair amount of good form for PSG. Skill-wise, what we've got a bunch of skills here. Long range curler, the first one he looked for as a right-footed left wing forward. Long range curler, very important one to have. He's got that. He's got his skill moves, soul control, acrobatic finishing, heel trick. Pretty good section skills. Could maybe do one-touch pass and through passing, maybe first-time shot, maybe long-range shooting. Does he need outside curler? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Outside curler would be a nice one. But yeah, we've got pretty good section skills to start off with. Let's have a look in the football hub though. How well does he train up? So he trains up pretty nicely. Again, you look at where he's strongest. For a free card, a player who's that good on the ball for a freebie. Yikes. That is some seriously good on the ball attributes. Well, they are. That is. Yeah. This guy's good on the ball. He's got good pace, crazy on the ball attributes. End product a little bit lacking, but we'll see if we can balance out the attributes, shuffle some points around. But yeah, for a free card on a winger to be that good on the ball, that's quality. So we've had a bunch of versions of Barcola. It's clearly not going to be the best version we've had of him. We've had a few Player of the Week cards. There is one Player of the Week version of him that's I think it's the oldest one. It's not quite as good as this, but there are two with boosters that when they're fully boosted are definitely better than this overall. There's a Showtime version, of course, that's better than this one. It goes without saying. There's one from some kind of Legend box trainable that's, to be honest, pretty similar. The stats are shuffled around a little bit, but overall around the same level as this one. So yeah, again, clearly not the best version of Barcola, but this is a pretty solid version. Most attributes up by about 2. They've not really picked out one attribute on this guy, to be honest. Apart from most attributes being up by about 2, the only real boost that's bigger than that, the first few attributes down the left got them up by 3 or 4. So yeah, a pretty reasonable boost, I guess, on the whole. Nothing outstanding, but obviously the ability on the ball there is just fantastic. 99 dribbling, crikey. So if you just want him to be quick and amazing on the ball, you don't mind the end product being a bit dodgy, especially without more skills in terms of through passing, for example. Be careful with the end product, and you can have a really fun card here with the pace, the trickery. Could be absolutely fantastic on the ball. If you wanted to tweak the way the points are allocated, you can lose a lot of points off dribbling there. I'm just going to take 4 off. And you could either go all in on passing or shooting, really. You can get the low pass at 80 there. Give him one touch and through. Do a pretty nice passing on him. Long range curve is going to improve his finishing, so that could be the way to go. But if you're not really bothered about the passing, get his finishing up to 80. Got 4 points left still. Put them on, I guess, passing. Yeah, could do that. I think most people on a wide forward would probably prefer that. Just focus on his finishing ability. Long range curl, make his finish even better. In fact, it'd be nice if we get that curl up to 80, wouldn't it? Let's just nick a bit off passing. Boom. The last one on the aerial. Yeah, so finishing 81, curl 80. not got great kicking power, but long range curler. I think long range curler improves your kicking power as well, but certainly long range curler will improve your finishing and your goal. It's a really effective skill to have, one of the most effective ones, and it's not affected by that 99 cap as well. So yeah, this is a pretty nice card, this. Like I say, there have been better versions of Barcola. You expect that with all these free cards, but if you've not got a good one, if you've not got the Showtime or any of the better versions of Barcola, and if you like a wide forward who's got pace and he's got the dribbling ability, even take a bunch of points away from his dribbling ability, still 96 there on dribbling, great on the ball, he's got the pace. The balance isn't amazing, to be fair. It'd be nice if he had a bit more balance, but you can't have it all. I think for a free card for a wide forward, this is a really nice looking card, and to be fair, stamina's not great as well. So yeah, of course, 1-2 is not the best, and it's not the best version of him, but with the qualities he's got and where you want him to be good as a wide forward, I think as a freebie, this could be a really fun one. I think a lot of people are going to be going for this guy with one of their selection contracts. In terms of other positions, SS, I think you'd be looking at a similar build. I mean, SS, you're probably just going to do what I did with the passing initially and get his low pass up to 80. Probably do something like that as an SS. You could do that if you're position training for SS, if you really wanted to do that, have him behind the attack. It's not that strong physically, though. His passing is still not going to be amazing. You definitely need to give him one-touch passing through passing. I don't think he'd be perfectly suited to playing SS. I think most people just leave him as a wide forward, but as a centre forward, can we make him a centre forward? What's the auto allocation going to tell us? It's going to tell us not really, because the finishing's too low at 80. Attacking when it's 86 is certainly usable. You can get away with that, but can he free up enough points elsewhere to get his shooting higher? Not really. I mean, kind of ish. For me, that would work better as a centre forward. You can get away with that, to be fair. Got good pace still, balances up a bit to 86. Attacking when it's 86, finishing 84. Yeah, you can get away with it. On the ball, we've taken a bunch of... I mean, we've only got a 2 on dribbling now, but he's still great on the ball. 90 dribbling is great on a centre forward. You could get away with that, to be fair. You'd need to give him first time shot. He's already got long range curler, though. So it could be an option as a centre forward. It doesn't look bad. Just like I say, I'd like the awareness and finishing to be higher, but in all honesty, as a centre forward, that could be pretty decent. It could be a pretty fun guy to have in that centre forward position. Give him first time shot, that's definitely an option for you. So yeah, as I mentioned with the form, you have plenty of A's and B's. There have been a few D's there, surprisingly, but yeah, more A's and B's than D's. So the form's pretty good on the whole. And yeah, I think for a freebie, yes, it's not the best version of Barcola we've had, obviously, but I think it's a good one. I think it's probably going to be one of the more popular cards out of this pack for a selection contract. I'll just leave him on auto allocation to finish. Like I say, whether you tweak the way the points are allocated, try and beef up his end product a bit, or you just go with the auto allocation. He's insanely good on the ball for a free winger, and like I say, I think it's going to be one of the more popular cards in this pack. I think for a freebie as a wide forward, or even as a centre forward, this could be a very nice one to pick up. And next we have a right wing forward. It is Jamie Leweling, who plays for Stuttgart in Germany. So playing for Stuttgart, he will not be getting live update. He could get some form from if he plays well for Germany, of course, but for the most part, you're not going to be getting any A or B form. He's got a face scan. He's a prolific winger. He's very two-footed. That's one thing to note with this guy. But yeah, only standard form, and we're not going to be getting live update for the most part. So that's a bit of a downside. And obviously, you can't use many league challenges. So a bit of a shame that there are some real cons to this guy. But there are pros as well. Got a few decent skills, but again, it's pros and cons even with the skills. You know, it'd be nice if we had a long range curler. We've got long range shooting, though, accurate finishing, pinpoint crossing. We'll see if that's significant in a moment. Super sub, always handy to have a super sub. Let's just jump straight over to eFootball and see how good this guy is. So it's the first time I've had a feature version of Leweling. Boost wise from his GP card, I put about 3 points on most attributes. Attacking awareness has gone up by 6. That's a decent one to give him a boost on. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what to make of this guy. The thing is, when you look at him at first, he's right footed and he's playing on the right as a right wing forward. He's got pinpoint crossing, but his lofted pass is terrible at 72. So he's not going to be very effective with his crossing. So then I'm thinking, okay, what's he going to be good at? What's the strengths for this guy? Obviously, he's rapid as hell. He's got really, really good pace there, and the dribbling's good, but the tight possession's not great. He's not got much strength. He's not got much balance. How good is he going to feel on the ball? 6 foot tall. I don't think this guy's going to feel too fluid on the ball, but he is very two-footed. So I just wonder with this guy, do you look at him and do you just think, okay, imagine if he was left-footed? Because if he's that two-footed, he kind of might as well be left-footed. If he was left-footed, if you gave him long-range curler, he's already got long-range shooting, accurate finishing, maybe especially as a super sub as well. As a left-footer, if he was a left-footer playing on the right wing, he could be decent. I don't really know with this guy. I'm just not sure how to look at him, how to kind of judge him in terms of his overall profile. I don't think as a right-footed right winger he looks like great, but as a two-footed right winger, if you gave him long range curler, I think he could be handy. Certainly as a super sub with the pace he's got, good attacking awareness, good dribbling. Even from the start, his stamina's not brilliant, but especially as a super sub, he could just be a handy super sub coming off that right wing, getting inside, getting into good positions. He's not got great end product, but the finishing could be worse, to be fair, with long range shooting already. And if you gave him long range curler, he could be handy. He could do a bit of damage for you coming off the right wing. Through the middle as an SS, I don't think his passing is good enough. You could position training for AMF, but I mean, I'll just show you the auto allocation for AMF. Even if you auto allocate him as an AMF, they increase his passing by 8. Nah, not for me. You're not going to play him as an attacking midfielder. And likewise, you can't get that lofted pass high enough to make him good as a right winger, really, to putting crosses in. He could position training for the left. Whether that's worthwhile, I don't know, because he's very two-footed. You might as well just leave him on the right as a right wing forward, unless you really want him as a wide midfielder, in which case you could position training for either of those positions. As a centre forward, could we do that? Not sure. I mean, the pace is outstanding. Awareness, borderline. Finishing, a bit too low for me. We got any points we can nick? Yeah, you can take those aerial. Get one more on finishing. There's not a lot more you can do. I mean, you could take a bunch off lower body, actually. You're losing some kicking power off his shots, but yeah, you can get his shooting up to 88. Yikes. No, you can't. I'm not very good at maths. What am I even doing? I'll just leave him there. Yeah, you could get away with him as a centre forward. You would need to give him first time shot, but he's got acrobatic finishing, he's got long range shooting, great pace acceleration 98, yikes. Attacking awareness 86, finishing 85. It'll be alright on the ball for centre forward. Yeah, that could be an option for you if you position training as a centre forward, especially as a super sub. Could be an option. I think this is one of these cards where you look at the overall profile, the skills, the attributes and everything. I'll leave him on his auto allocation. It's one of these ones where I think for a lot of people, it's maybe just not enough going on to really look at him and think, yeah, he's going to get my team in this position or that position. He might just be one that, on occasions where if he did get form, which would have to be from an international week, because like I say, he's not getting a live update from the Bundesliga, he could just be worth having on your bench, having in your squad, and just throw him in, and he could do a job for you. Like I say, from the right wing, he is two-footed, he can get into good positions and make things happen, especially as a super sub. He could make my centre forward if you wanted, but you need to give him first time shot. I think as a wide forward, long range curler he'd need as well. I'll give him a long range curler regardless. But yeah, there are definitely qualities with this guy. He's rapid. He is good at dribbling. It's just that there's a bunch of attributes I'd like to be a bit higher. I'm just not sure how it all kind of ties together to make him particularly great in any position. So yeah, no live update. Not sure it all comes together to make him particularly great in any position. There are real downsides to this guy, but he does have qualities, especially the pace there. He does have great dribbling. And he could be just one to pick up, but like I say, with all the downsides to him, I'm not sure many people are going to be picking this guy as one that wants to use their selection contract on. But if you have done that, or if you've used his GP card and if you've got some use out of it, if you think it's good, do let me know, because I do find him an interesting card. I'll be interested to know, how you have got some use out of this guy if you found him to be good in any way. But like I say, for me, real qualities there with the pace especially, but I'm just not sure he's one that many people are going to be looking at and thinking there are enough qualities to him to be worth a selection contract. But he's certainly not a bad card. I'll be interested to hear if anyone else does think he's good. And we finish up with a couple of centre forwards. The first of those is Retegui from Atalanta. He's a fox in the box. He has a face scan, only standard form, but he's been having a great season for Atalanta, so he's had plenty of A's and B's. Skill-wise, pretty decent selection. We've got first time shot, the most important one. We've got heading. We've not got aerial superiority, bit of a shame. We've got acrobatic finishing though. One touch pass is handy. Heel trick likewise. So good selection of skills there. I would look to throw in maybe the long range curler and aerial superiority. But apart from that, pretty good selection. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub though. How good a version of Retegui is this? So it's a pretty solid one. Again, like with most of these cards, we've had better. We've had a couple of Player of the Week boosters. When they're boosted, they are a bit better. There's one trainable, I think it was in the Ballon d'Or pack. That was a bit better as well. There was one from a Legend pack quite a while ago when he was a target man. In terms of overall ability, very similar, but obviously a different playing style. Stats kind of shuffled around a little bit. And there's one from a Serie A pack quite a while back that wasn't as good as this one. So it's kind of an alright version of Retegui. Again, it's not the best, obviously, but it's a solid one. In terms of what they boosted from his GP card, most of the attributes up by 2 or 3 at level 1, but they put 5 points on curl. Not sure that's the most important one, but I guess for long range curlers that will make a difference, especially if you give him the long range curler skill. You could have a pretty nice long range curler on him. So yeah, a bit more curl than normal, but yeah, solid Retegui card. I think the obvious thing, the first thing I'm looking at here, that attacking awareness is fantastic at 95, but I'd like that finishing to hit the 90 mark. I don't think it's going to be difficult to hit the 90 mark, but as much as you can afford to lose a few points off the attacking awareness there, the bounce is just shy of 80, which is really annoying. It'd be nice if we could nudge it up to 80, but I'm just going to go below there, to be honest, because I want that finishing to hit 90, and the easiest way is to take some points from dexterity. To be honest, if you're not going to hit an 80 for bounce, I'll be inclined to just nick a couple more off there and make him a bit more comfortable on the ball. In fact, the physical contact's at 86. We're going to get that +2 with one increase on doing that first, and then the last two going on the ball. I think that's what I'm doing with this guy, and I've just noticed that he's one shy of 90 for kicking power, so I'm actually going to take one back from dribbling. Boom, 90 kicking power, nice. I think that's what I'll be doing. I think that's worth doing. Attack awareness is still great at 92, finishing up to the 90 mark. He's not brilliant on the ball, and his passing is not brilliant. It's a bit of a shame when the Fox in the box. They do sometimes. They are, Fox in the box for me is more inclined to get involved in the build-up than a goal poacher, for example. But it depends how you use them. I don't think it's the end of the world. But like I say, personally, I like my Fox in the boxes, or my Foxes in the box, or Foxes in boxes. How do you say that as a plural? Yeah, I like my Foxes to be a bit better on the ball, to be a bit better at passing. So that's a bit of a downside, but the awareness and finishing are great. Pace is fine for a Fox in the box. Kicking power is great. It's going to have a nice finish on him. Physically, he's not going to be dominant in the air. What's the vertical reach? Yeah, 266. So he's not got a fantastic reach on him. I would definitely recommend putting aerial superiority on him. Oh, apparently he's got goalkeeper long throw. Excellent. Nice one, eFootball Hub. Yeah, he's physically strong. I would give him aerial superiority, though, because jumping at 78 is not great. He's not got amazing vertical reach, but he should be decent from crosses. He's got heading. He's got 80. He's got the heading skill as well as 80 for the heading attribute. So in the air, he should be okay. Yeah, he's a decent all-rounder, this Retegui guide. I don't think he's amazing. Like I say, I'd like him to be a Fox in the box is, for me and for a lot of people, it's the best playing style for strikers in terms of getting on the end cross. If you put a lot of crosses in, I find Fox in the box is the best playing style for strikers. So I'd like him to have a bit more jumping on him. It's not a great deal we can do to boost that, or is that? Well, maybe there is. Tell you what, let's just do a quick crossband build. Why not? We're going to go down to 88, finishing in awareness. We're going to make him an aerial beast if we can. That is a big if. Going to 6 low body right field, 20 points. Okay. Can we make him a beast in the air? Goalkeeper one's going to help us out here. Yeah, we kind of can. Oh, 1 away from 90. We can do it. We can do it. Bosh. There you go. 274 jumping height. So he's not a monster in the air now, but you can make him pretty decent. Physical on that 94, jumping 90, you give him aerial superiority. You're just going to be spamming crosses in. Yeah, okay. So there's an alternative build for you. So you could make him an all-rounder. He could be pretty decent and solid. But if you're just going to be mashing loads of crosses into the box, trying to win headers, you could make him very decent. So again, aerial superiority in that case would be a must. I'll give him aerial superiority. But if you do that, you can make him pretty decent as an aerial threat. So a couple of ways you can build him there. Whether you do that, you're going to be spamming loads of crosses in. Could be very nice if you do that, but as an all-rounder, whether it's the auto allocation or whether it's what I did where I just beefed up his finishing a little bit and got his kicking power to 90, I think it's a decent version of Retegui this. As an all-rounder, I think it could be very decent. It will certainly be very good at getting into the right positions and finishing chances for you. It will be okay from crosses. You could make him very decent for crosses with that crossband build as well. And yeah, if you want a striker option for the Italian League Challenge, if he maintains his form for Atalanta, plenty of A's and B's, as you can see here. So yeah, as a striker option, I think this could be one of the more appealing versions in this pack. A couple of ways you could build him there. I think on the whole, yeah, maybe not an amazing striker, not a top level striker, but certainly for a lot of people could be very usable, especially for that Italian League Challenge. So yeah, I think this one probably one of the more appealing options for who to use a selection contract on. He could certainly do a decent job for a lot of people, this guy. And we finish up with Undav, former Brighton striker. He's now at Stuttgart. So we've got another Stuttgart player, which means we've got another player who doesn't get live update. So yes, when he's playing for Germany, you might get the odd international week where he gets A or B, certainly in the summer if he plays well for Germany in the summer. But yeah, apart from that, he's going to be on C, and he's only got standard form, so a bit of a downside that. He's got a face scan. He's a deep line forward. He's only got one fully proficient position. You could train him to be an SS or an AMF if you wanted to. Skill-wise, what we got? First line shot, the most important one. Through passing is a nice one. Outside curler, acrobatic finishing, long range curler. Okay, so shooting and passing, pretty well stocked. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. How good is this Undav card? It's alright. It's just one of these ones where you got to ask yourself, how are you going to use him? Because he's a deep line forward, and as a deep line forward, he's going to be dropping deep, he's going to be getting involved in the build-up. Does he have the profile? Not really sure. We've had a player of the week version of Undav that was a whole player. He had attacking midfield and SS as fully proficient positions as well, and that was a better card than this one. We've had one trainable from some kind of legend pack, around about the same, similar level. The stats are kind of shuffled around a bit. In terms of the boost that they've given him, most attributes up by 2 or 3 from his GP card, but heading's up by 5. Still not brilliant, but they put 5 on it. I guess that could help. He's not the tallest. He's not the quickest either. That speed's pretty low. And yeah, like I say, you got some qualities with this guy. You know, the awareness and the finishing are great. The balance is great. And he's got some physical contact on him. Acceleration is really good. Kicking power, but speed is low. He's not brilliant on the ball. His passing is not great. So yeah, like I say, the question is, as a deep line forward, does he have the profile? Does he have the attributes to really match up to that? And I'm not sure. A deep line forward, you need better passing for a start. I'd like him to be a bit better on the ball. You can live with the lack of speed on a deep line forward, certainly. But the concern for me is he going to be good enough at getting on the ball, getting involved in the build-up and playing a pass? I'm not sure. He does have through passing. I'll give him one-touch pass as well. But yeah, could we make him a bit more better suited to being a deep line forward? We can nick at least one from dexterity. It'd be a bit of a shame. To be honest, we really do need to beef that passing up. I'm going to take a couple more from dexterity. I'll leave the attacking where it's at 90. We're dipping below 90 on balance. I'm obviously losing a bit of acceleration, but I think we can afford to. Shooting, we can nick one off shooting, leave that at the 90 mark. Leave the aerial at 4. It's only 4 points to get him 80 physical contact. I think that's worth it. That's good value. Lower body, I'm going to put one more on lower body, getting 90 kicking power, and we've got 9 points to play with. If we put all those on passing, we can get him up to 6, so that gives him 76 low pass. Is it worth it? I don't know. I'm just going to take one away, actually. One on dribbling, get the tight possession up to 80. That last point is just going to go on goalkeeper. I'll make him jump a bit higher. Great. I would do that. Still not great at passing. We have improved him there. He's just a little bit better across these on-the-ball attributes. He's still at 90 for awareness and finishing. Got the kicking power to 90. Still pretty decent bounce. I don't know. I think as a deep line forward, if you like this guy, it might be good for you to pick up. I don't personally think he suits the deep line forward playing style particularly well. You can live with the lack of speed, but you will notice that he's not the quickest. He's not been great in the air. He's not brilliant on the ball. He's not brilliant with his passing. So I don't think he really suits that playing style that well. But he does have good awareness and finishing. He can certainly take chances for you when he does get into the right positions. That kicking power as well will really help with his finishing. Decent balance and physical contact at 80 as well. So that will help with him on the ball. But I still think on the whole, he's not going to be that great on the ball. I don't think he suits the deep line forward playing style that well, to be honest. He's got SS. It'll be the same situation. He'll still be a deep line forward. You could free some more points up from the awareness and finishing as an SS if you position training for that position. If you really wanted to. Get the low pass to 80, can you? Not quite. Nick one off aerial maybe. I don't know. No, you can't. You need another point to get that passing. Low pass to 80. I don't know. I'm not sure. You can position train for AMF as well. You can make him an AMF. Again, the passing's the issue. I really don't think so. Yeah, I'm not too convinced by this card, to be honest. You've probably noticed that by now. I mean, the lower body as an AMF build is down. Got his speed down to 70. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is a bad card. He's certainly got some qualities. The awareness and the finishing are great, but on a deep line forward, he's not exactly going to be darting forward and making too many great attacking runs. With that playing style, you just need to be a bit better on the ball. For me personally, he's not good enough on the ball, and you can't make him that great on the ball, so I don't think he really suits the playing style. I don't think he'd be that effective for me, but if you like a deep line forward and you think with the qualities he's got and you think that on the ball he's going to be good enough for you with that playing style and he could work for you, then he could be a good card, because like I say, he's got some qualities, got a few good skills as well. Could work pretty well for some people, but for me, and I imagine for a lot of people, with that playing style, the strengths he's got, the way the attributes are balanced out, I don't think it all ties together to make him particularly effective as a striker, as a deep line forward. So not for me, unfortunately, but if you think he'd be good for you, certainly got some qualities. I just think on the whole, and certainly without live update as well, he's not going to be one of the more popular choices from this packet, I don't think. So there is your European national team selection contract pack thingy, whatever it's called. It's a good selection. I like that they're doing these selection contract things now where we get selections of players that we can choose on from. Obviously, the Showtime one's fantastic that we get a free Showtime card. We've got a pretty good choice in there as well from the 5 that we've got to choose from. I've done my review of that, by the way. If you're not seeing that, it's live on the channel if you want to check it out. For this one, obviously, this isn't Showtime. These are just basic highlight cards, and they're not particularly great versions of the players, but looking at these cards in isolation, there are some decent ones. I think Barcola is probably going to be the most popular one. Again, obviously, I don't think any of these, unless it's the first version of the player that we've had, they're not going to be the best versions of their players because they're free cards. You're never going to get cards that are that good for free, or not often anyway. But it's still a good version of Barcola. He looks like he's going to be fantastic on the ball. I think a lot of people are going to go straight for him with one of the selection contracts. Upamecano, if for some reason you don't already have a good version of Upamecano, as if you like the Destroyer playing style, can be a bit of a beast for you. He's not dissimilar to the Tsubasa one, which for me, even though he is a Destroyer, and I don't particularly like the Destroyer playing style, he's been fantastic for me when I've used him a few times in co-op and against the AI. You've got a few fullbacks in there. Bellanova's one of them who could be decent for you. Bellanova, Cambiaso, and Klaus. Klaus is the lowest rated at level 1, but for me, Klaus, I think overall, they're all 3 of the fullbacks are attacking fullbacks, and I think Klaus is the pick for me, just based on personal experience. I've used Cambiaso once or twice. I've used Bellanova a few times as well when I've done an Italy squad. Just their GP versions, and I've not been as impressed with them. But Klaus for me as an attacking right back or as a right winger, he's pretty tidy. Koné, he looks like he might feel pretty nice on the ball. He looks like he might play better than his stats suggest, but he needs a few skills as well. I'm not sure with Koné. I'd be interested to know if anyone's tried any version of him, if you like him. I'm not sure with the lack of skills and with some of his attributes being a bit low, if he'd be that great of a choice. Leweling likewise, I just don't know what to make of Leweling. Definitely got some qualities, but I just don't have it all ties together to make him particularly great in any particular position. And he's one of a few players in here that don't get live update, which is frustrating. Groß is another one, and Groß is horribly slow, but technically great. Fagioli, Ricci, a couple of midfielders. Fofana, another one. Could be solid options. Likewise, Koné, if he works for you. What else we got? Anton, solid centre-back, but again, no live update. Baumann, he's an alright goalkeeper. No live update. Undav, just not sure. No live update. I just don't know with that deep line forward playing style if his attributes really match up to the playing style well enough to make him a good option. And yeah, I think that's just about everyone in summary. So yeah, I don't want to sound negative. Obviously, these are free cards. You can't complain. And the fact that we get a bunch of 15 cards to choose from, we don't always get choices. We know that from the eFootball point store. We're lucky if we get anything to spend our points on. So to give us a bunch of selection contracts, it looks like we're getting 5. And we've got 15 to choose from. I don't think anyone can complain really. I think most people are going to find at least 1 or 2 cards in this pack that could give them some real value. Especially I think Barcola and Upamecano are probably going to be two of the more popular ones. Maybe Retegui as well. So yeah, and Ricci for me. I mean, if I'm picking 5, it depends on what players you've got. You might have better versions of these players. Everyone's going to be different with their choices. But if I'm picking 5, I think I'm probably going Klaus, Ricci, maybe Fofana, Barcola, Upamecano, or maybe Retegui. That's 6. I don't know how to narrow that down to 5, but everyone's going to have different choices. But I think those would probably be the pick for me. But you've got a whole bunch of cards in there that could be good for you. So yeah, GG's to Konami. I think that's a cool little campaign, getting some selection contracts to take some of these cards for free, and the fact we get to choose which ones we get. Good stuff. Hopefully we can get more of that. So yeah, hope you found this review helpful. Let me know who you're going to be picking up or who you've already picked up. And yeah, thank you for watching. I promise, do the Interpack review eventually. Struggling for time at the moment, but yeah, Interpack is definitely on the agenda. So keep your eyes out for that one. And obviously I'll be back for Player of the Week on Thursday. And I'll be trying to do 1 or 2 streams here and there as well, so to hang out with you guys and stuff. So yeah, cheers for watching. I do really appreciate it, and hopefully you found this video useful. I'll be seeing you soon. Take it easy.